Sujit, as per my understanding, uh, you're from IT background, from computer science background, but then you don't have any experience in the PeopleSoft, right?
Right, right, right.
Okay. So what I'll do is, before starting the class today for 10 to 15 minutes, I'm not going to open the application, but then I'll give you an overview what exactly the PeopleSoft is, what are the different topics we discuss with the PeopleSoft finances. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, for first today 10 to 15 minutes. Accordingly, we'll schedule a class and we'll proceed with the classes. And before that, before the classes, we need to get our PeopleSoft server installed on both of the systems.
Okay.
Okay. You're able to see the screen?
Yeah, I can see you.
No, okay. See, you might be, you might have listened about the ERP tech, the enterprise resource planning. Okay. So
Okay.
there are ERP applications exist in the system. So ERP basically ERP refers to enterprise resource planning. So for example, you have some organization. In the organization, you might have several different departments. So the main intention of ERP is to collate the information across all. Basically, it integrates all the departments within your organization. If, for example, you have the HR department, you have the finance department, you have something related to customer related department, you have supply chain department. So the main intention is it integrates the application between all these departments within the company. So all the information is maintained in a single database. So that the main advantage would be the planning, the resource planning or the management control or the operational control very much effectively and efficiently used. And ERPs, we have several technology like SAP, Oracle Fusion, Oracle Apps, PeopleSoft. Okay. Of all these things, Oracle PeopleSoft ERP one of the most important art technology in the market. So in the Oracle PeopleSoft ERP, again it is basically divided into several different modules. So in the ERP, you might have SAP, you might have Oracle, and etc. etc. In the Oracle, we have the Oracle PeopleSoft. In the PeopleSoft again, you might have HRMS, Finance, CRM, etc. Now we are further drilling down in the financials. Basically, PeopleSoft financials is having several modules. It is further drilled down because it's like no. PeopleSoft is having several modules based on the requirement. We can plug in any module, use the modules. It's not that we're going to develop something from the scratch. This is already a delivered product from the Oracle. So the PeopleSoft, the delivered product can be installed, and wherever the customization is required, we just customize and use the particular product. It's not something like other technology like Java or something. We need to develop from the scratch. The product is already available. You need to install the product. Wherever the requirement is, you just make the changes accordingly. Okay. So in the financials, you have several modules right now. Purchasing, accounts, payables, there's something like asset management, there's something like e-procurement, and there's something like general ledger. There's something like project costing, there's something like accounts receivable, your commitment control, your billing. So the n number of modules in the PeopleSoft financials. Okay. So based on the requirement, we just install those particular modules and then work on those modules, make the changes accordingly. So in our class, what I would be discussing is I would be discussing the P2P process. We call it as procure to pay. Let me give you a case study kind of thing. So you might be working in some organization currently, or no, or if not, if there is some organization which is already running, it may be any kind of organization. What do you need to to manage your transaction or to maintain all your day-to-day transaction to work? So for all the day-to-day activities, either you need the goods, machinery, or the services. Some are other ways you need all the items. So you need the machinery, you need the raw materials, you need the labor. So if all these things are available, then you can make your day-to-day activities. So how to procure this day-to-day, how to make it more flexible, more comfortable. Say for example, you got a requirement to buy some raw material. So how do you do that? How effectively are you going to buy the goods or the services from the company? So in Peoplesoft, all these models, we have some automated process which deal with all the procurement related dealings. The main advantage, for example, you got a requirement to buy laptops in your company organization. So we have several options to get the laptops. One thing is if you have a data warehouse or if you have inventory, you go back to inventory and check if you have the laptops. If yes, you just pull from the inventory. And if there is no laptop in the inventory, what you can order the particular laptops to the vendor. So once you order, probably you get the laptops. But here the question is it laptops, is it on emergency based required, or can it wait for some time? Or if, so for example, if you're ordering some 10 laptops, though the laptops are required, is that quantity can required currently? Because all these scenarios would come into picture, because this would definitely have a direct impact on your balances or the profit loss. So the minimal should consider all these options, because just I'm explaining about the laptop, but it may be any good or any services. If they're not having a proper control budget in the initial phase, that it would have a severe impact on the company's performance. Right. So the main concept comes here. Okay. So this is our topic or the concept that we meant to discuss. That is the procure to pay. In the first topic comes the e-procurement. In the e-procurement, we create the requisition. So requisition is nothing but it's the first part of the beginning part of your procurement, where you create a requisition. The requisition is nothing but it's something through online you do raise a requisition with all the requirements. So basically, your buyer would or the procurement team would come up with all the requirements. Say for example, they need the laptop, so they create a requisition with all the items required. So for example, laptop, they create the item as a laptop, the quantity as 10. What are the prices, and they create. So when the requisition get created, it moves for the approval. So I will explain all these concepts in through answer later, but then this I wanted to give overview the topic that we may discuss in the coming classes. Okay. Once the requisition got created, we need to get it uploaded by the mail. So why do you need the upload? This is the main point here. So unless it is uploaded, you cannot go and buy the good. Okay. So the upload is important because in this way you're managing your goods, basically the procurement. So once it's uploaded, you also do the budget check. So budget check, what I mean is whether the required budget for all the 10 laptops, is it existing in the organization. If the laptop's particular budget is available, then you will go and buy the goods. If not, you're not eligible for buying the goods. That is one more control. So all this control will enable you to control the budget very efficiently. So once it is approved, once it is budget checked, then you can create a purchase order. Unless both the approval and budget check is done, you cannot create the purchase order. So this is the first part. So requisition is something, but it's internal to a company. You're maintaining internally to your company to effectively manage the budget. So once it is uploaded, mentioned, you create a PO. So PO is nothing but it's between your company and vendor. Vendor may be a third party entity. So you're ordering, now you're giving commitment to the vendor saying that I need a laptops with quantity as 10 of a particular brand. So now the PO is between, it is external between yourself, your organization or your procurement department to the third party called as vendor. So in the PO model, we're going to discuss about creating the PO in the purchasing model. I will be discussing about creating a PO, that is the purchase order. So how to create a purchase order, and when you create a purchase order, what are the Peoplesoft tables that might get loaded, and what are the different ways of creating a PO? Is it within the Peoplesoft, or how do you run several different batch processes to create the PO? How the data gets loaded from the non-Peoplesoft system or the external system? So entire PO life cycle I would be talking. PO and this life cycle. So once PO got created, we need to get it approved, we need to get it budget checked, and after the approval and the budget check, I need to dispatch the PO to the vendor. So once you dispatch the PO to the vendor, that means you're sending the order to the vendor. Either dispatching means it can be through email communication, it can be through mail, fax, it can be electronic transfer, can be anyway. Some or other means you're sending the order. So when the dispatching is done, vendor what it does, he sends an acknowledgement to us. Upon the acknowledgement, if any changes, we do the changes. Okay. If not, vendor delivers the goods to our location. Delivers to shipping location. So once the goods gets received, your particular procurement demand, they create a receipt to Peoplesoft online system. They receive the goods and create a receipt. Upon the receipt, once you receive the goods, you just cross-verify all the details. In case of any changes, you just make a note of the damages and all these things. In case if the goods needs to be returned to the vendor, if there is some damage, you create a return to vendor. Return to vendor and send the goods back. So this is the entire workflow of your PO module. These are several topics we might discuss in this. So there is one more topic which I forgot to tell here. So once you deliver the dispatch the PO to the vendor, you might need to make some changes. To create changes within change order. Apart from this, I will be talking all the Peoplesoft tables that can get impacted. So during this entire workflow, there are several Peoplesoft delivered tables that will get impacted, or that data might be loaded into several tables. So I would be explaining those concepts, and also I would be explaining all the setups and configurations. Okay. So how to set up a business unit, how to set up a vendor, how to set up the request, how to set up the buyer, so how to set up the chart fill accounts. So all this setups and the configuration would be explained. Apart from that, interfaces. Interface, what I mean is, now right now I'm talking about the purchasing model. So when you create all this transaction data, this data should be flowing to the next model, whatever we might discuss. Say for example, there is an interface between your PO and AP. There is an interface between PO to GL. There is an interface between PO to asset management. So each and every model is interlinked, and the data will be flowing from one model to another model. So how the data will be flowing between the models? So how the accounting entries would be created. Finally, how all the accounting would be flowing to GL. How the data in the GL would be created. How the journals should be created. Okay. What are the different ways of creating the journals? What about the creating of the ledgers? So this concept will be discussing once the PO model is completed. So all these concepts are related to PO. Once we are done with this, so once you receive the goods, you also receive the invoice from the vendor. So based on the invoice, you create a voucher in the Peoplesoft accounts payable module. So basically this voucher is mainly intended to make the payment. Based on the voucher details, you make the payment. Okay. So voucher again, it should get approved. After that, we need to do the matching. So in accounts payable, this is very important topic called as matching, because say for example you ordered for the laptop with quarter test 10, and if you receive the quarter test 10, that is when you go to make the payment for quantity 10 laptops. For example, if you get a quantity as 8 only, though you ordered 10, you got only 8 laptops, then you need to make payment only for the 8 laptops but not the 10. So all this validation, all this cross checking, or the this kind of validation would be happening in the matching program. Matching program, what it does, it compares your PO, it compares your receipt, it compares your voucher. It compares each and every line, whether the details are correct or not. If at all you give a quantity as ordered as 10, it just validates between all these three things. Okay. In case of any discrepancies, the matching process would create the exceptions which needs to be corrected, and we need to run the matching program again. So the why I'm talking about matching program is the payments which you're going to make would be eligible only if the matching process is successful. Upon the matching program is successful, you create a pay cycles and you make the payments. And after this, the accounting entries would get created. We need to run some program to create the accounting entries, and the accounting entries will be flowing to GL later. So guys, like, am I explaining more in detail, or it's fine? Are you getting the concepts? If not, I can just stop and maybe through answer I can give you more. I can give you an overview. Is it fine, or?
We can go ahead with these topics in class, right?
Yeah, but then I want you guys to be aware of the topics that we might discuss. If you feel you're getting lost and you're not able to understand, I can stop immediately.
Okay, like whenever we have a question, we'll just ask you right away.
Yes.
Yeah. I like we both are in one house, so we just keep in mute. Whenever we get it out, we'll just text or we'll just unmute and we'll ask you. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is about the second model, accounts payable. After this, we have one more model called as asset management. So in the asset management model, we'll be discussing about how the assets will be created, and what are different types of assets. How do you calculate their depreciation? How the accounting entries would get created? What are the assets? What are different tangible assets, non-tangible assets, and what are ways of creating the assets? What tables it might be getting affected while you create an asset? How to calculate the depreciation? How the book codes would get created? Okay, how to get the deposit portable? How to create the accounting entries? So all these things will be discussing on the asset management. Finally, the general ledger, basics of the general ledger, how the journals will be created. From all the three models that we discussed, either the POM, AP and AM, end of each and every model, the accounting entry would be created. From the particular accounting entries, the journals should be created in the GL system. So how to create journals in the GL model, what are different ways of creating them, and other stuff. So overall, the topics I might discuss is I will give you on. So one more thing, guys. So whatever topic we discuss comes from the Peoplesoft financials functional concept. Okay, Peoplesoft financials. So we were drilling down, right? The Peoplesoft financials or Peoplesoft HRMS, whatever it will be. We'll have the technical scope, technical work, and functional. You have two different categories. Okay. Right now, whatever we're discussing comes into Peoplesoft functional. Apart from that, you have some technical area also. So what I'll do is, since though I'm teaching the functional modules to you, I'll take few classes and I'll give you some basic knowledge on the technical concept also. Because it is always better to have knowledge on the technical, at least a basic knowledge, not the coding exactly, but at least you should have overview, some basic idea of how to open the application designer, what are the different objects that are existing in application designer. So how to view the existing people code, how to run the reports, how to set up the trace files. So there is some basic knowledge. So I will be explaining. Apart from that, you have some concept called as PS query, which would be helpful for the functional people. So I would take few classes in the technical, so that would help you going forward when you're working on the project, though it's a functional related training. So I'll take a couple of classes and explain that. So coming to the models, again I'll just confirm you. I will be talking on each procurement. I will be talking on the, let's say, accounts payable, asset management, general ledger basics. So this is our topics on the functional part. Apart from that, we'll have some classes on the technical also. If you people are interested, we'll have some basic overview of the technical concept. So are you fine with the concept? This is normally, the number of job opportunities will be more on the PO side and accounts payable side. Even in asset management, the opportunities are good, but the people, the trained people will be very less. They are people having experience in asset management would be very less. So this would be some additional advantage if you have knowledge in the asset management. So PO, AP, and AM. So GL is, it's better to have some idea, but then the people having GL knowledge are quite in a big number. So not only people from IT background, people from having the financial knowledge, or people from CA background, they all have a good GL knowledge, and they're more available for the job opportunities. So I would say PO, accounts payable, asset management, that would be something like a unique and very good. If you are having a very good level, the chances of getting jobs are also very high, because the number of opportunities are more on these areas right now. So these are the topics and the entire workflow we might discuss in the coming classes, the scheduled classes. Any doubts, or do you have anything to share? Dilip, Sujit, and Srinivas.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fine. So how to install the software and the process to install the
Yes,
work
so
on
I
PPs.
talked to the training team. We'll have the BMV related links. Probably they would say to the training team, I talk to them immediately after the class. So if they say the particular link, you can download and get it installed. So once the software installed, then we can proceed with the class. Until the software Peoplesoft demo version is installed, it will be difficult to start with the class. Okay, I'll just talk to the training team, let you know that if you have any concerns related to the topics or anything, let me know right away, or maybe later also if you can drop an email, that would be great.
Okay. So where does the AR come from? Like, does it come from
Accounts payable is making the payment. You're making the payment. So something like the expense. Okay. Accounts payable something, it's an expense, and you're making payment outsourced to some other vendor. And for example, if you're receiving the payment, you're not paying, but some other third parties making a payment to you, then you will receive the payment. So here comes the account receivable. It's quite opposite of your payables. So what I'm saying is there are n number of modules. So, above I'm talking like your accounts payable, your receivable, your commitment control, product costing, billing, travel, expenses. Okay, you have many CRM related modules. You have many supply chain related modules. But the main intention is of this training is 3 to or 3.5 or 4 modules which are discussing, because I would say instead of having training on 8 or 10 modules, which even you will get lost, and even the expectation is not like that. So for example, if a person having 4 or 5 years of experience, he might get a chance to work on 1 or 2 modules. Practically, when we practically I'm saying. So though you learn 5 modules, 6 modules, that may not fetch much to you. So try to have a good learning on 2 to 3 modules, and try to get an opportunity in those modules. That I would suggest, instead of learning 7 to 8. And no one, it's not expected to have a knowledge on those kind of modules. If you have good knowledge on this, at least procure to pay, your number of opportunities in this.
Okay.